Judge Andrew Napolitano, our senior judicial analyst. Judge, good to have you with us. Basically, this is a question of law because federal agents have a right to cover their faces, don't they? Doesn't that supersede whatever misdemeanor they're trying to pull in California?
Well, the Constitution does not allow the states to regulate the way federal agents dress when they're enforcing a federal law. So this legislation obviously was, and Governor Newsom knows this. This legislation was obviously passed just for political reasons, so he could shake his fist metaphorically at the federal government. But the feds, under the Supremacy Clause, can dress however they want. Look, they have to obey speed limits and they have to basically obey the law, but telling them how to dress, it's not going to work.
And let's just underscore it with DHS saying it is unconstitutional, putting in a post saying at a time, though, that when law enforcement, ICE law enforcement, is facing a 1,000% increase in assaults and their family members are being doxxed and targeted. The sitting governor signed unconstitutional legislation. So go on, and they say it's a PR stunt, which clearly, as you just articulated, seems like that's all that's been accomplished here. Want to get your reaction. Border czar Tom Homan also here on Newsmax, and he did address the investigation that had accused him of accepting cash from FBI agents that were undercover. Here's what he had to say about that.
I recused myself from all federal contracts. I won't have any decision-making in any federal contract, but people, including this recent case, people are saying, I'm going to line the pockets of people. I signed that declaration. I do not make decisions in any federal contracts. And just so people know, I make about 18% of what I've made in my company to come back and serve my nation.
There is no current investigation, Judge. What do you make of the accusation here?
This was a sting created by the FBI and the Biden administration, something that Kash Patel, before he was the director of the FBI, said would not happen under the Trump administration, and I hope it doesn't. This is not a crime. This is FBI agent pretending to be somebody else, pretending to bribe him. There was no crime. There was no harm. There is to be no prosecution. I don't know what became of the $50,000, but there's no crime here, and the Justice Department, in my view, has done the right thing to drop this.
All right, I want to talk to you about this Supreme Court decision. It is allowing President Trump to fire FTC Commissioner Rebecca Slaughter. Court also agreed to decide on the president's ability to fire the heads of independent agencies. Now, Justice Alina Kagan, writing the dissent for the liberal justices, warns that this ruling allows the president to take charge of institutions that Congress had intended to protect from partisanship. But this is a major ruling and will impact, most likely, a lot of decisions moving forward. Judge, your reaction to this win for President Trump here?
My reaction is that it's about time. For years, there has been a dispute in the legal and judicial community about who controls independent agencies. They are appointed by the president. They're confirmed by the Congress. There's only certain circumstances under which they can be fired. On the other hand, we have the executive branch of the government. They perform executive functions. Who's the head of the executive branch? The president. Should he have people working for him who think differently than he does about government? Of course not. Should he be able to hire and fire the people in the executive branch just as he could in his business at will? Yes, he can. Now, that's not the law yet, but the court will use this case to make that the law. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah. Of course, we're watching with Lisa Cook over on the Fed, the Board of Governors there, when it comes to not just people who don't think like Trump, but their alleged allegations of mortgage fraud. Judge Knapp, good to have you with us. Thanks so much for stopping by Newsline.
Pleasure, Bianca.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.